Hey everybody, just finishing the Monday morning show from April 22nd, 2013, a day to remember because my son Ethan turns 10. Happy birthday, buddy. But, of course, memorable for other reasons as well. This is our first full show after the capture of, the unraveling of, the beginning of the next phase in the Tsarnaev brothers story, the Boston Marathon bombing suspects, one dead, one in custody. Works out well for me. But now I've had the day to figure out what works out well for me in terms of striking the balance between obeying the Constitution and getting the information that we need out of this remaining brother, Dzhokhar Tsarnaev. What can we do to him and still obey the law? There's been a big sort of a dichotomy. Here are the scales. On this side, we have to let him lawyer up. We have to let him, we have to read him his Miranda rights because, after all, he's an American citizen. On this side of the scale, though, is, oh, no, shoot, no. This is a terrorist. This is an enemy combatant, and we need to be able to aggressively, perhaps even creatively, interrogate him. I come to you today with the following prospect. Why are these mutually exclusive? I think we go first here, then there. I believe we interrogate him as an enemy combatant. Let's see. Because he is. I mean, this is not a street criminal. This is not domestically based terrorism. This is a guy, and listen, I can't establish the full point A to point B, full black line with a Sharpie, that it was definitely, absolutely global jihad, Islamic extremism that fueled him. But how in the world do we find out without asking him these things, you know? And this notion of purely leaving this to the United States justice system, as much as I love the justice system, that is for crimes committed within the United States, not war crimes committed against the United States. This guy is involved in global jihad. The evidence points to this. How much, to what degree, with what connections, with what other further plots, with what co-conspirators, these are questions that must be known. That's why you have interrogations. Let's do that, and let's do it for as long as it takes. Then the time will come for him to lawyer up, get the Miranda rights, and then go to trial. Now here's the thing. His right to a fair trial is something that he does still get. Nothing from Phase A can be used in Phase B. There is nothing in the questioning of him, the interrogation of him, that we can learn and then use in his criminal prosecution. So doesn't that make both of them thoroughly sound and desirable things? The interrogation, so that we can learn what we can learn about what drove him and that crazy, now dead brother of his to kill innocent people and learn if there are other threats against America. And then once we've learned what we can learn from young Mr. Tsarnaev, we then go about setting the wheels in motion to prosecute him federally for what he did in Boston a week ago. Life doesn't need to be so complex. I know there are 15 separate subplots to all of this, and they'll continue to roll out, and we'll continue to talk about them. So amid all of this, today was an almost wall-to-wall Tsarnaev, as well it should be, and the week may be that way. So let me, while I have your attention here for a second, just throw some additional love and some prayers to the people just about an hour south of us in the little town of West Texas, where they had the fertilizer plant explosion. I can't imagine what life is like down there. And I think the last thing we were saying about all of these stories together last week is, you know, tragedy in West, terrorism in Boston, lots of dead, lots of wounded, and that's horrible, and it can make you sad. But to come along to uplift you, to come along and give you fresh, renewed faith, some wind in your sails as you look at the human condition, are these unbelievable stories in both venues of people who ran toward the danger, people who ran toward explosions and fire rather than away. And obviously first responders and such will do that, but ordinary citizens, how was it phrased? Boston Marathon runners who ran even further to go to give blood. People who heard horrible things and saw horrible things and didn't run away to minimize the danger to themselves, but ran toward the dead and the hurting in order to be of whatever help they could. That's what I take away. You're always going to have, you know, Tsarnaev brothers who will blow stuff up. You're always going to have things that seem to be accidents for the moment, like the West Texas fertilizer plant explosion. These things are going to happen. But if you can come away with them with a renewed sense or a reminder of the good in people, with your permission, I'm going to focus on that. We'll focus on all the above and every single bit of breaking news as we continue through what should be a happening week of Mark Davis shows. So strap in. We'll see where it goes. 7 to 10 each morning. And then on Friday, of course, a big 5-hour experience. Bill Bennett's Morning in America, 5 to 8, locally 8 to 10. All of it happening right here on 660 AM, The Answer.